Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Wales of Wall Street, MTV MultiVac on our radar today. A very quick topic here for MultiVac before we go into the chart. Exciting news, awesome news. The roadmap apparently will be delivered this month for MultiVac. I think this is incredible. I'm sure that we will have some short-term price activity in a positive aspect when this is released. But equally, depending on what is on the roadmap, will indeed probably encourage a lot more people as well for future investment, both short-term and long-term. So, of course, beginning of this year, for those that did not see, of course, they had the changeover of CEO. So it was quite a big, impactful event, especially around that sort of end of December. It was literally announced 31st of December, I think. And then the following, I think a day or two before that, it started trickling down anyway. Clearly, some internal news had developed and people took action. And then, of course, the news came out and then we had a bit, not necessarily a free fall for MTV, but it was enough to impact it to the point where it was making a difference, if you like, for the price point to come down. So it was a bit annoying because I think we were coming down in a correctional period anyway, so I think it just sped it up. So it's partially annoying but partially good in the sense that we, like with the rest of the market, I guess, is we've managed to speed up the correctional process over a 3-month period. So we'll go into that in a bit more detail in a second. But yeah, I thought I'd just bring to the attention that this roadmap will be coming soon, hopefully. They did say in January that we would expect the roadmap to be the end of January or beginning of February. So hopefully it's sooner rather than later. But, I'm not too majorly fussed when that would be this month. I, like many of you out there, have been accumulating MTV left, right and centre. I think anything really under these sort of 10-cent marks, if you like, for MultiVac for the long run, is absolutely phenomenal positions. And of course, we've been in a privileged position, in my opinion, to be seeing this back under 1 cent. This is something, like I said in previous videos, I missed out early on this project, and it felt like certainly in the last couple of weeks it's come down to price points where I would really have liked to have got into. I obviously probably would never have got in at these time frames, this time last year, purely just because I didn't know about it. I always like to try and see it get towards at least 1 cent anyway. Personally, some projects I do early, but some I like to see what's the reflection on this, what's actually happening. Of course, we had a big storm up here in April, and very nicely as well up here in October. Taking us to some nice new heights, actually, to be fair, just around that 3 cent mark. Sounds a bit crazy to get excited about 3 cents, but it actually is really compared to where it was before. And just to reiterate to those that are perhaps new to the project, do go check out our intro videos to MultiVac. But for the sake of price points, look at that, 12,000% up in less than a year. What a return that is. So, of course, like I said, we come back to very nice positions down here. We covered this in a few videos over the last few weeks, and we were very interested in 2 particular positions. One, this tail up here, back here in June, reflecting some very nice areas, especially where exactly we are right now. This is actually quite a repetitive pattern across a multitude of assets out there right now. We didn't come down to these levels, which is very promising for MultiVac to show you where it should be in terms of its real price. But we did indeed come back down to where we drew this orange line before. This was a great buy area that we put in. We've hit it 3 or 4 times, I think. Not necessarily this particular area, but certainly lower regions for us to accumulate more. And I really liked this area of interest on a number of reasons. 1, back here in April last year. 2, here, which obviously rejected. And 3, there was a bit of interest around this August period before we took off, and then we dragged ourselves back down, and that is where we are pretty much right now, guys. Look at that, pretty much bang on in line with the previous resistance we had back in June last year. Yes, I think it was last week we had a nice start of movement upwards. We'll go into the RSIs in a second, but look at this correctional period. I always said this with many projects. I always look between sort of 70 and 80% for a price reduction from the previous all-time high, or indeed the previous high period. So I can actually take it back down to our lowest area, which was literally 80%, pretty much bang on that top end. We've reflected ourselves back up to around 70% from that previous high position to where we are right now. I think this is really promising. What I quite like as well is we're not getting this steep movement anymore. We're seeing like a gradual approach. Now, if I pull this bit of extra data out, we're obviously into a purchasing pattern right now, as you can see on the chart in general, but also here on the histogram. And what I like about this is there was very limited sell-off periods here and here, especially after the big wave that we had throughout December and towards mid of December. So the intake is coming in nicely. People are gaining more confidence. I do think that people will be very excited about this roadmap. The MACD switched over here on the 31st of January. I'm not getting too excited just yet because we did indeed do that back in mid-January as well for a small period of time, and then it reflected back. So I'm still cautious because I'm just going to check actually what the Bitcoin price is at the moment, because it's around 41 and a half. So that's actually pretty decent going, to be fair, considering where we've been. Pretty much almost nearly can confirm, I guess, removing that 32,000 Bitcoin price as a testing area again. We'll have to see in the coming weeks. I'm just patiently waiting. I will indeed still be buying MTV on a dollar cost average, even on the way up towards this 10-cent mark. I think it's a fantastic price, but I'm holding more of my bags for the dips that we get, whatever they may be, whether they're a tenth of a cent, whatever they are. I'm waiting. But on the RSIs here is very interesting. So obviously a few days back, and we had lower regions. You see here on the right hand. So let me just move my mouse a second. So we, for some reason, the 90 days moved to the bottom. I have no idea why. But right now, 47 on the 90, 53 on the 14, and 45 on the 28. So very interesting move right now because we're in the middle ground, pretty much. This is suggesting to me that we're going to start testing this fib retracement level that we have here around this 0.008 mark. And it's going to be defining perhaps over the next few days, maybe into next week as well, to see if we identify ourselves with a bit more sideways movement, or indeed maybe put ourselves back a bit because of a tiny bit of profit taking may occur. But what I'm really excited about, if you drag yourselves back literally a few days ago, the RSIs were looking under 40 on 28 day and 14, which is really interesting. That's a great buy purchase opportunity for me personally. I always look at 40, particularly on the 14 days and the 28 days, because I'd like to try and get short-term gains on some of these projects. Not necessarily MTV. I'm a long-term holder of MTV, of course. I'm trying to get it into staking as soon as possible once I've accumulated enough, but I'm really happy with the way it's going so far. So from a long-term perspective, yes, if we do have a dip, I think in general February and especially March should look quite strong for MTV, provided there's no crazy leverage failures and stuff on other assets including Bitcoin. We should be okay. So there's a nice little buy signal here, as you can see on the right hand side. I don't pay gigantic attention to that. That just basically is what it is. It just shows you that people are in a buying mentality for MTV, and rightly so. I think, like I said, the roadmap I think will encourage people more and more to believe again. I totally appreciate that people may have bailed out perhaps at the beginning of the year, just in general with the correctional period around the market and MTV, but also the announcements. No one wants to see those kind of things, but you have to be patient and take a step back, be logical. Things will be okay. MTV's not going anywhere. MultiVac is not going anywhere. It's an incredible project. Like I said, I wish I went in really early and knew about it early, but I didn't. I missed the opportunity originally, and now it's come back. So that's why I'm taking the advantage. Look at that. We're up 21% up on the week, which is great. If you remember the last video I did say about the monthly switching over, hopefully very soon, we're seeing that now. It's great to see green, and that's going to encourage a more prospective position, I think, over the next couple of months. Obviously, it's going to take a while to reduce this 3-month gap from currently 70 negative to a higher region, but still very positive. Look at that 6 months, irrespective of these big moves. 62% in the green here on the move up, and still on the year 2000. The year today is obviously a negative. That's pretty understandable because since January we've been going down a downward slope. But in general, guys, this whole performance indicator on the right side, everything we're seeing on the MACD right now and the RSIs is showing some good stability. Like I said, doesn't mean it rules out another drop. Hopefully not as significant as the other ones, because I do think we'll start getting maybe lower highs now, and that would be a really, really good indicator of moving forwards and developing further over these coming months. But like I said, either way, I think it's positive, and I'm really looking forward to this roadmap, guys. So we'll do an update video on MTV in the next few days, but do by all means, if I haven't been aware of anything, just ping me on Twitter or something if the roadmap comes about, and I will definitely jump on a video straight away. Work is pretty manic at the moment, so I'm doing as much as I can for you guys. So yeah, we'll wrap that up there. Thanks for watching, and we'll indeed cover MultiVac very, very soon. I'm really excited about this one this year. I think it's going to do some great things. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.